Welcome, dear listeners, to another enchanting bedtime story. Tonight, I invite you to relax and let your imagination take flight as we journey to the serene kingdom of Ilaria. In this magical land, where ancient forests whisper secrets and noble princes embark on grand adventures, we meet Prince Elias. Known for his golden hair and piercing blue eyes, Elias discovers an extraordinary harp deep within the mystical Whispering Woods. This enchanted harp holds secrets and melodies that guide him on a quest to protect his kingdom from a looming darkness. As you listen to the story of Prince Elias and the magical harp, let the soothing sounds and gentle narration lull you into a state of relaxation. Imagine the serene beauty of the Whispering Woods, the soft glow of moonlight, and the harmonious music that fills the air. Now, settle in, take a deep breath, and let the tale of Prince and the magical harp carry you into a world of wonder and tranquility. May your dreams be filled with magic and peace. Chapter 1. The Enchanted Discovery. In the serene kingdom of Ilaria, a land where magic subtly wove itself into the very fabric of daily life, there lived a young and noble prince named Elias. With his golden hair and piercing blue eyes, Elias was the embodiment of youthful vigor and princely grace. Despite the comforts of the castle and the bustling activities of court life, Elias often found solace in the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest that bordered the kingdom. The Whispering Woods was a place of quiet wonder, where ancient trees stretched their gnarled branches skyward, their leaves murmuring secrets to those who listened closely. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy, casting dappled patterns on the forest floor, and the air was perpetually filled with the scent of pine and earth. It was here that Elias felt most at peace, away from the pressures of princely duties. One tranquil evening, as the sun began its descent, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Elias ventured deeper into the forest than ever before. The deeper he went, the more the sounds of the forest enveloped him. The soft rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, and the gentle whisper of a breeze weaving through the trees. It was in this quiet symphony that Elias first heard the faint strains of a melody, so delicate and ethereal that it seemed to float on the air itself. Drawn by the enchanting sound, Elias followed the melody, each note pulling him further into the heart of the forest. The path grew narrower, the trees older and more twisted, until he stumbled upon a secluded glade bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the glade, surrounded by a circle of white flowers, lay a harp unlike any Elias had ever seen. The harp was exquisite, crafted from a wood that shimmered with a silvery hue, as if it had been carved from moonbeams. Its strings glistened like spun gold, and delicate carvings of mythical creatures and ancient runes adorned its frame. As Elias approached, the harp seemed to call to him, its melody growing clearer and more insistent. With a mix of awe and curiosity, Elias knelt beside the harp and reached out to touch its strings. The moment his fingers brushed against them, a warm, tingling sensation coursed through him, and the harp responded with a soft, harmonious chord. It was then that Elias realized this was no ordinary instrument. It was imbued with a magic that resonated deep within his soul. The harp's music wove itself into Elias's mind, whispering secrets in a language that felt both familiar and foreign. He closed his eyes and let the music wash over him, feeling a profound connection to the ancient melodies. The music spoke of times long past, of forgotten legends and hidden truths. And as the final notes faded into the night, Elias knew that he had discovered something truly extraordinary. Elias carefully lifted the harp, feeling its surprising lightness despite its ornate appearance. Cradling it gently, he made his way back through the forest, the path seeming to glow faintly in the moonlight as if guiding him home. The whispering trees seemed to offer their blessing, their leaves rustling in approval. Back at the castle, Elias placed the harp in his private chambers, where its beauty could be admired and its secrets slowly unraveled. As he lay in bed that night, the harp's melody lingered in his thoughts, and he drifted into a deep, dream-filled sleep. In his dreams, the harp continued to play, its strings weaving a tapestry of visions that hinted at a grand adventure. The whispers spoke of a looming danger to the kingdom, and of a quest that only a true-hearted prince could undertake. When Elias awoke, he felt a sense of purpose stirring within him. The harp had chosen him for a reason, and he was determined to uncover its mysteries and protect his kingdom. Thus began Elias's journey, one that would take him far beyond the familiar confines of the Whispering Woods and into the realms of legend and magic. The enchanted discovery was only the beginning, and the true adventure was yet to unfold. Elias woke early the next morning, the first light of dawn barely kissing the horizon. The events of the previous evening felt almost dreamlike, but the harp resting in his chamber was proof of their reality. Eager to unravel its mysteries, he hurried through his morning routine and returned to the harp, its strings gleaming in the early morning light. As he sat before the harp, Elias felt a magnetic pull towards it. Tentatively, he plucked one of the golden strings, and the harp responded with a soft, resonant note that seemed to fill the entire room. Encouraged, he played a simple melody, each note clear and pure. As the music flowed, Elias noticed something extraordinary. The air around him shimmered, and the room seemed to grow brighter. The harp's music wove a tapestry of sound, and Elias was no longer just playing. He was communicating. The melodies took on a life of their own, intertwining and dancing in the air. Suddenly, amidst the harmonious chords, he heard whispers. At first, they were faint and elusive, like voices carried on the wind. But as he continued to play, the whispers grew clearer, speaking in a language that was both ancient and profound. Guardian of Ilaria, the voices murmured, hear our plea. Darkness stirs and shadows gather. The kingdom stands on the brink of peril. Only through the harp's secrets can salvation be found. Elias's heart quickened. The harp was not just an instrument. It was a conduit for ancient knowledge, a vessel of forgotten wisdom. Determined to understand more, he played with greater intensity, letting the music guide him. The whispers grew louder, forming coherent sentences that painted vivid images in his mind. He saw visions of a dark force creeping through the land, corrupting everything it touched. He saw the faces of his people, their expressions marred by fear and despair. And he saw himself standing against the encroaching darkness, the harp in his hands glowing with a radiant light. The music slowed, and the whispers faded into the background, leaving Elias with a profound sense of purpose. He had been chosen to undertake a quest, one that would lead him into unknown dangers and test his resolve. The harp had given him a glimpse of the stakes, and he knew that he could not ignore its call. As the final notes echoed softly in the chamber, Elias felt a gentle tug at his sleeve. Startled, he turned to see Orion, his loyal owl companion, perched on the windowsill. Orion's large amber eyes reflected the same determination that Elias felt within himself. "The harp has revealed much, my friend," Elias said, reaching out to stroke Orion's feathers. "But there is still more to uncover. We must be prepared for whatever lies ahead." Orion hooted softly in agreement, and Elias felt a surge of confidence. With the harp's guidance and Orion by his side, he felt ready to face the challenges that awaited him. But first, he needed to understand the full extent of the harp's message. He spent the rest of the day in deep contemplation, playing the harp and listening to its whispers. Each melody unveiled new layers of the ancient secrets, guiding him towards a clearer understanding of his quest. By evening, Elias had pieced together a series of clues that pointed to a hidden location within the kingdom, a place where the true nature of the threat could be discovered. Elias knew that he could not embark on this journey unprepared. He needed to decode the harp's messages thoroughly, ensuring that he missed no crucial detail. The fate of the kingdom depended on his success, and he could not afford any mistakes. As night fell, Elias felt the weight of his responsibility, but also the exhilaration of the adventure that lay ahead. He played a final, soothing melody on the harp, the notes weaving a lullaby that calmed his racing thoughts. With the music still echoing softly in his mind, he drifted into a peaceful sleep, ready to face the challenges of the coming days. That night, as the castle settled into its tranquil slumber, Elias felt an unusual restlessness. The harp sat in the corner of his chamber, its presence both comforting and mysterious. He had spent the day unraveling the enigmatic melodies, but he knew the harp had more to reveal. Driven by a sense of urgency, he settled onto his bed, the harp cradled in his arms, and allowed sleep to overtake him. As his eyes closed, Elias felt a gentle pull, like a warm breeze guiding him. He found himself standing in a vast moonlit field, the sky above glittering with a myriad of stars. In the distance, the silhouette of a majestic mountain range loomed, their peaks kissed by the silver glow of the moon. The scene was ethereal, imbued with the serene beauty that felt almost otherworldly. The soft strains of the harp began to fill the air, and Elias saw a figure approaching. It was a woman of striking grace, her hair flowing like liquid silver, her eyes shimmering with an ancient wisdom. She wore a gown that seemed to be woven from starlight, and as she moved, the ground beneath her feet blossomed with delicate, glowing flowers. "Elias," she spoke, her voice a melodic whisper that resonated with the music of the harp. "I am Leora, the guardian of the harp. You have been chosen to bear this sacred instrument and undertake a quest of great importance." Elias bowed respectfully, feeling a deep sense of reverence for Leora. "What is this quest, Lady Leora? What must I do?" Leora smiled, a look of both sadness and hope in her eyes. "The kingdom of Ilaria is under threat from an ancient darkness, a shadow that seeks to consume all that is good and pure. The harp, created by the ancient ones, holds the power to guide and protect you. Through its melodies, you will uncover the secrets needed to dispel this darkness and restore peace to the land." As she spoke, the harp's music grew more intense, the notes weaving a complex tapestry of sound that seemed to pulse with life. Leora gestured towards the instrument, and Elias understood that the true power of the harp lay in its ability to reveal hidden truths through its music. "Listen closely, Elias," Leora continued, "for the harp will speak to you in dreams and visions. It will show you the path you must take and the challenges you will face. Trust in its guidance, and you will find the strength to overcome any obstacle." With that, Leora began to fade, her form dissolving into the night sky. The harp's melody softened, and Elias felt himself being gently pulled back to wakefulness. As he opened his eyes, the first light of dawn was filtering through the window, casting a warm glow over the harp. Elias rose from his bed, his mind buzzing with the revelations of his dream. He approached the harp and began to play, the strings responding with a rich, harmonious sound. As the music filled the room, Elias closed his eyes, letting the notes guide him. The whispers returned clearer now, forming a coherent message. "The darkness lies hidden in the shadowed veil," the voices murmured. "There, you will find the source of the evil that threatens Ilaria. But beware, for the path is fraught with danger, and only the pure of heart can prevail." Elias absorbed the words, a sense of determination settling over him. He knew that the journey would be perilous, but he felt a deep resolve to protect his kingdom. The harp had chosen him, and he would not fail. As the final notes echoed softly in the chamber, Elias turned to Orion, who had been silently observing from his perch. "We have our mission, my friend," Elias said, his voice steady with conviction. "We must prepare for the journey to the shadowed vale. The fate of Valaria rests in our hands." Orion hooted softly in agreement, his amber eyes reflecting the same determination. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, guided by the ancient wisdom of the harp and the courage of their hearts. Elias awoke with renewed determination. The harp's revelations and Leora's words echoed in his mind, instilling a deep sense of responsibility. As the morning sun bathed his chambers in golden light, he knew he could no longer delay. The kingdom of Ilaria needed him, and the time had come to embrace his destiny. Elias dressed swiftly, choosing sturdy travel garments suitable for the journey ahead. He fastened his leather boots, adjusted his cloak, and secured his sword, a symbol of his readiness to protect his people. With the harp safely nestled in a specially crafted case slung over his shoulder, Elias descended the castle's grand staircase, each step echoing with purpose. In the great hall, Elias's parents, King Alden and Queen Alara, awaited him. Their faces bore a mixture of pride and concern. King Alden, a stern but compassionate ruler, spoke first. "Elias, you have always been brave, but this journey will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Know that your mother and I support you fully." Queen Alara stepped forward, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Take care, my son. Trust in the harp and in yourself. We believe in you." Elias embraced them both, feeling their love and strength bolster his resolve. "I will return, and I will bring peace to Ilaria," he vowed. With a final nod, he turned and made his way to the stables, where his steed, a noble horse named Luna, awaited him. Her sleek coat shimmered in the morning light, and she nickered softly as Elias approached. Orion, his ever-faithful owl companion, perched on a nearby post, watching with keen eyes. Elias gently stroked Luna's mane, whispering calming words before mounting her. With Orion taking flight and circling above, Elias set off, the castle walls fading behind him as he rode towards the whispering woods. The forest, usually a place of comfort, now felt charged with a sense of impending adventure. The harp hummed softly in its case, a reassuring presence that guided Elias deeper into the trees. He rode for hours, the familiar paths giving way to uncharted territory. As the sun reached its zenith, Elias arrived at the edge of the whispering woods, where the landscape shifted dramatically. Before him stretched the shadowed vale, a foreboding expanse shrouded in mist. The air grew cooler, and an eerie silence settled over the area. The harp's melodies grew more insistent, urging Elias onward. He dismounted Luna and walked cautiously into the vale, Orion swooping down to perch on his shoulder. The harp's music wove a path through the thick fog, and Elias followed, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he ventured deeper, the whispers returned, guiding him with cryptic messages. "Seek the ancient altar," they murmured. "There you will find the first key to dispel the darkness." Elias's journey led him to a clearing where ancient stones formed a circle around a weathered altar. The air crackled with latent energy, and the ground was covered in strange, glowing runes. Elias approached the altar, the harp's music growing louder, each note resonating with power. Placing the harp on the altar, Elias played a sequence of notes that the whispers had taught him. The runes began to glow brighter, and the air hummed with magic. Suddenly, a beam of light shot from the altar into the sky, parting the mist and revealing a path forward. The whispers spoke once more, clearer than ever. "You have found the first key. Continue your journey and the path to victory will unfold." Elias retrieved the harp, feeling a surge of triumph. The path ahead was still uncertain, but he knew that each step brought him closer to saving his kingdom. With renewed vigor, he mounted Luna and rode onward, the shadowed veil behind him and the promise of new discoveries ahead. As night fell, Elias set up camp beneath the stars, the harp's soothing melodies lulling him into a peaceful sleep. His dreams were filled with visions of the challenges yet to come, but also of the strength and wisdom he would gain. The adventure had truly begun, and Elias was ready to face whatever lay ahead, confident in the guidance of the magical harp and the unwavering support of his loyal companions. As dawn broke, Elias awoke to the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft hoot of Orion perched nearby. The mist had lifted, revealing a clear path ahead. The harp's melody still lingered in his mind, reminding him of the urgent task at hand. Determined to decipher the full extent of the harp's message, Elias set out once more, guided by its ancient wisdom. Riding through the verdant landscape, Elias felt the presence of the harp grow stronger, its music more insistent. He knew there was more to uncover, more secrets hidden within its golden strings. He found a quiet spot by a babbling brook and decided to rest, allowing himself time to delve deeper into the harp's mysteries. Seated on a moss-covered rock, Elias gently plucked the strings, letting the music flow. As he played, the air around him seemed to shimmer, and the whispers returned, forming coherent phrases that spoke directly to his heart. "Look within, where light meets sound," the voices murmured. "A map lies hidden, its secrets profound." Elias paused, contemplating the cryptic message. He studied the harp's intricate carvings, running his fingers over the delicate engravings of mythical creatures and ancient runes. Suddenly, a thought struck him. He had been focusing on the music, but perhaps the harp's physical form held clues as well. With renewed determination, Elias examined the harp closely. Under the sunlight, he noticed a series of tiny, almost invisible symbols etched into the wood, arranged in a complex pattern. The symbols seemed to pulse with a faint, magical glow, revealing themselves only to those who knew where to look. Intrigued, Elias traced the symbols with his fingers, feeling a subtle warmth emanate from them. The symbols formed a map, highlighting key locations within the kingdom, places of power and mystery that had long been forgotten. Among these locations, one stood out: a hidden grove deep within the whispering woods, marked by a star. The hidden grove, Elias whispered to himself. It must hold the key to understanding the harp's full message. Guided by the map, Elias and Orion ventured back into the heart of the whispering woods. The journey was arduous, the dense foliage and winding paths making progress slow. But Elias was undeterred, his resolve strengthened by the harp's persistent guidance. As they approached the grove, a sense of reverence washed over Elias. The air was thick with magic, and the trees seemed to lean in, their branches forming a protective canopy. In the center of the grove stood an ancient stone pedestal, covered in moss and engraved with runes similar to those on the harp. Elias placed the harp on the pedestal, and the ground beneath him began to glow. The harp's music resonated with the runes, and the whispers grew louder, filling the grove with their harmonious chorus. "Welcome, guardian," the voices intoned. "You have found the place where light and sound converge. Here lies the final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate truth you seek." As the music reached a crescendo, a beam of light shot from the pedestal into the sky, parting the clouds and revealing a vision. Elias saw the kingdom of Ilaria, vibrant and prosperous, but overshadowed by a creeping darkness. The vision shifted, showing the source of the threat: an ancient, malevolent force sealed away in the shadowed veil, now stirring and seeking to break free. The vision revealed the steps Elias must take to confront this darkness. 3 trials, each guarding a piece of the ancient seal that kept the malevolent force at bay. Only by completing these trials and restoring the seal could Elias save his kingdom. The vision faded, and the grove returned to its serene state. Elias felt a profound sense of clarity and purpose. He had the map, the harp, and the guidance he needed. The path was clear, but the journey would be perilous. "Orion," Elias said, turning to his owl companion, "we have our mission. We must face the trials and restore the seal. The fate of Ilaria depends on us." Orion hooted in agreement, his eyes reflecting the same determination. With the map in hand and the harp's melodies as their guide, Elias and Orion set out from the grove, ready to face the challenges that awaited them. With the map now revealed and the vision of his quest clear, Elias knew it was time to prepare for the arduous journey ahead. The path was fraught with peril, but the fate of Ilaria rested on his shoulders. He returned to the castle, his mind racing with thoughts of what he would need to face the trials and restore the ancient seal. Elias found his parents in the royal gardens, where they often sought solace amidst the blooming flowers and gentle breezes. King Alden and Queen Elara looked up as he approached, sensing the gravity of the moment. "Father, Mother," Elias began, "the harp has shown me the way. I must undertake this quest to save our kingdom. There are trials I must face, and I will need your wisdom and blessings." King Alden's stern visage softened as he regarded his son. "We knew this day would come, Elias. You have always been destined for greatness. We will provide whatever you need for your journey." Queen Elara embraced Elias, her eyes filled with a mixture of pride and concern. "Be safe, my son. Remember, you carry not just the hopes of the kingdom, but our love as well." With their blessings, Elias set about gathering the necessary provisions. He visited the castle armory, selecting a finely crafted sword and a sturdy shield, both etched with the royal crest. The castle's blacksmith, a grizzled man named Baron, offered Elias a dagger imbued with protective enchantments. "This dagger has been in my family for generations," Baron said, his voice rough but warm. "It will serve you well in times of need." Elias accepted the gift with gratitude, feeling the weight of the weapon's history. Next, he made his way to the castle's library, where the sage Alaric awaited. Alaric was a wise old man with a long white beard and eyes that seemed to hold the knowledge of centuries. He had been a trusted advisor to Elias since his childhood. "Alaric," Elias said, "I must decode the ancient runes and uncover all the secrets the harp holds. Can you help me?" Alaric nodded, his eyes twinkling with curiosity. "The harp is a powerful artifact, Elias. Together, we will unlock its mysteries." For hours, they pored over ancient texts and manuscripts, cross-referencing the symbols and runes on the harp. Elias played the harp intermittently, each melody revealing more of the ancient wisdom. Alaric's knowledge and Elias's intuition formed a formidable partnership, and soon they had a complete understanding of the trials ahead. "There are 3 trials," Alaric explained. "The trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of heart. Each trial guards a piece of the ancient seal. Only by passing these trials will you be able to restore the seal and banish the darkness." Elias felt a surge of confidence. The path was clearer now, and with Alaric's guidance, he felt prepared to face the challenges. He thanked the sage and made his way to the castle courtyard, where Luna and Orion awaited him. Luna, his loyal steed, was outfitted with protective armor and saddlebags filled with provisions. Orion, ever watchful, perched on a nearby branch, his sharp eyes scanning the horizon. The owl had been Elias's companion for as long as he could remember, a silent guardian and trusted friend. Elias approached Luna, stroking her mane and whispering soothing words. "We're ready, girl. It's time to begin our journey." Orion swooped down, landing gracefully on Elias's shoulder. The bond between them was unspoken but profound, a testament to their years of companionship. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, Elias mounted Luna and rode towards the castle gates. The harp's case was securely fastened to his saddle, its music a constant reminder of his quest. He turned back for a final glance at the castle, his home, and the people he loved. With a deep breath, Elias urged Luna forward. The gates opened, and the path to adventure stretched out before him. The journey to the shadowed vale had begun, and with the harp's guidance and the support of his loyal companions, Elias felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The fate of Ilaria depended on his courage and determination. As the castle receded into the distance, Elias's resolve hardened. He would complete the trials, restore the ancient seal, and bring peace to his kingdom. Chapter 2. The Quest to Save the Kingdom. The sun had just begun to rise, casting a soft golden light across the land as Elias rode away from the castle. With Luna's rhythmic gallop and Orion soaring above, the trio moved steadily towards the mystic mountains, the first landmark on their journey. The mountains loomed in the distance, their peaks shrouded in mist and mystery. The path to the mountains was rugged and winding, flanked by towering trees and dense underbrush. As Elias rode, the harp's gentle melodies provided a soothing backdrop, a constant reminder of his quest and the guidance it offered. The journey was long and arduous, but Elias felt a deep sense of purpose driving him forward. As they approached the foothills of the mystic mountains, the air grew cooler and the terrain more challenging. Rocky paths replaced the forest trails, and the landscape became increasingly desolate. The once gentle whispers of the forest were now replaced by the eerie silence of the mountains. Elias dismounted Luna and led her by the reins, carefully navigating the treacherous path. The harp's music, which had grown softer, seemed to resonate with the mountains themselves, harmonizing with the faint echoes of the wind. Orion circled above, his keen eyes scanning for any signs of danger. After several hours of arduous climbing, Elias reached a plateau, a natural resting place overlooking the vast landscape below. He paused to catch his breath, taking in the breathtaking view. The kingdom of Ilaria stretched out beneath him, a reminder of what he was fighting to protect. As he rested, Elias felt a presence, a subtle shift in the air around him. The harp's music intensified, and the whispers returned, guiding him towards a narrow path that wound deeper into the mountains. He knew this was the way forward, the path that would lead him to the first trial. Elias continued, the path growing steeper and more perilous. The mountains seemed to test his resolve at every turn, but he pressed on, driven by the harp's insistent melodies. The whispers guided him to a hidden cave, its entrance concealed by a thick curtain of vines. He pushed aside the vines and entered the cave, the air inside cool and damp. The walls were adorned with ancient carvings, depicting scenes of valor and sacrifice. The harp's music echoed off the stone, filling the space with an ethereal harmony. Elias felt a deep connection to the place, as if it held the memories of countless heroes who had come before him. As he ventured deeper into the cave, he reached a vast chamber, its ceiling high and arched like a cathedral. In the center of the chamber stood a colossal statue of a warrior, his sword raised high, a symbol of unyielding courage. At the base of the statue lay a stone altar, inscribed with runes that glowed faintly in the dim light. Elias approached the altar, the harp's music reaching a crescendo. The whispers guided his hands as he placed the harp on the altar and began to play a series of notes, each one resonating with the very essence of the cave. The runes glowed brighter, and the statue seemed to come to life, its stone eyes glinting with an inner light. The chamber filled with a deep, resonant voice, the voice of the ancient warrior. "Who dares to awaken the guardian of the mystic mountains?" it intoned. Elias stood tall, his voice steady. "I am Prince Elias of Ilaria, guided by the Harp of Ages. I seek to restore the ancient seal and save my kingdom from the encroaching darkness." The warrior's voice echoed through the chamber. "To prove your worth, you must face the trial of courage. Only those with a pure heart and unwavering resolve can succeed." The ground beneath Elias trembled, and a hidden door opened at the far end of the chamber, revealing a narrow passageway. The harp's music shifted to a more solemn tone, urging Elias forward. With a deep breath, Elias stepped into the passageway, the darkness enveloping him. He knew that this trial would test every ounce of his courage, but he was ready. The fate of Ilaria depended on his success, and he would not falter. The narrow passageway seemed endless, the darkness closing in around Elias as he ventured deeper into the heart of the mountain. The air grew colder, and the silence was only broken by the soft footfalls of his steps and the occasional hoot of Orion, who flew just ahead, guiding him through the inky blackness. The harp's gentle melody reverberated in the confined space, providing a comforting presence amidst the unknown. After what felt like hours, a faint light appeared at the end of the passage. Elias quickened his pace, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he emerged from the tunnel, he found himself in a breathtaking glade, bathed in soft golden light. The glade was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was a place where magic thrived, and every blade of grass, every flower, seemed to pulse with life. In the center of the glade stood a towering figure, a giant with a gentle demeanor. His eyes glowed with a deep, ancient wisdom, and his presence radiated a sense of calm and strength. Elias approached cautiously, sensing that this was the guardian of the glade, the being he must meet to continue his quest. "Welcome, Prince Elias," the giant said in a voice that was both powerful and soothing. "I am Thalion, the guardian of this sacred place. You have journeyed far to find me." Elias bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Guardian Thalion. I seek to restore the ancient seal and save my kingdom from the darkness that threatens it. I come to you for guidance and aid." Thalion nodded, his expression thoughtful. "The path you tread is fraught with danger, young prince. To succeed, you must prove your bravery and wisdom. The harp has brought you here, for it knows that your heart is true. But there are trials you must face to earn the knowledge you seek." The harp's music swelled, its notes intertwining with Thalion's words, creating a harmonious blend that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the glade. Thalion extended his hand, and a shimmering portal appeared, revealing a vision of a labyrinthine forest filled with obstacles and challenges. "This is the Forest of Trials," Thalion explained. "Within its depths lie tests that will challenge your courage, your intellect, and your heart. Only by overcoming these trials can you gain the wisdom needed to restore the seal." Elias felt a mixture of apprehension and determination. "I am ready to face the trials, Guardian Thalion. I will do whatever it takes to save my kingdom." Thalion smiled, a look of approval in his ancient eyes. "Remember, Elias, the harp's music will guide you, but it is your own strength and resolve that will see you through. Trust in yourself and in your companions." With a nod, Elias stepped through the portal, Orion following close behind. They found themselves in a dense forest, the trees towering high above, their branches forming a canopy that blocked out much of the light. The air was thick with magic, and the forest seemed alive, watching and waiting. The first trial presented itself as a massive chasm, too wide to jump and too deep to climb. Elias paused, contemplating the best way to cross. The harp's melody shifted, offering a clue. He noticed a series of vines hanging from the trees, strong and sturdy. Using the vines, Elias crafted a makeshift bridge, each movement deliberate and careful. Orion flew ahead, ensuring the path was secure. With patience and determination, Elias crossed the chasm, the first trial successfully conquered. The second trial was a maze of thorny brambles, their sharp thorns glinting menacingly. Elias took a deep breath, relying on the harp's music to find the safest route. He moved slowly, carefully, each step precise to avoid the painful thorns. The whispers guided him, and soon he emerged from the maze unscathed. The final trial tested Elias's heart. He encountered a clearing where an illusion of his deepest fears awaited him. Visions of his kingdom in ruin, his loved ones in peril. The harp's melody turned gentle, soothing, reminding him of his strength and purpose. He faced the illusions head-on, banishing them with the power of his unwavering resolve. Having passed the trials, Elias returned to the glade where Thalion awaited. The guardian's eyes shone with pride. "You have done well, Elias. You have proven your courage, wisdom, and heart. Take this," Thalion said, handing Elias a glowing crystal. "It is a piece of the ancient seal. Continue your journey with my blessing." Elias accepted the crystal, feeling its power resonate with his own. With Thalion's blessing and the crystal in hand, he knew he was one step closer to saving Ilaria. The path ahead was still long, but he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay in wait. Leaving the serene glade and the wise guardian Thalion behind, Elias, with Orion flying overhead, ventured further into the uncharted territories of the ancient forest. The path before them was less a path and more an intertwining of trees and vines, a labyrinth of nature that seemed to shift and change with each step they took. The air was heavy with the scent of earth and the whisper of ancient magic. Elias held the glowing crystal tightly, feeling its warmth seep into his skin. It was a reminder of his recent triumph and a symbol of the strength and courage that had carried him through the trials so far. The harp, now resting comfortably in its case, seemed to hum softly, a subtle yet constant encouragement. As they delved deeper into the forest, the light of day dimmed, shrouded by the thick canopy above. The forest exuded an aura of ancient power, and Elias knew he was entering the realm of the ancient spirits. These spirits, remnants of a time long past, were known to challenge the hearts and minds of those who sought their wisdom. Elias came upon a clearing where the air felt charged with energy. At the center stood an ancient oak, its trunk wider than any tree Elias had ever seen. Its branches stretched towards the sky, leaves shimmering with an otherworldly light. As Elias approached, the wind picked up, swirling leaves and dust around him. The spirits were aware of his presence. The harp's music began to play, seemingly of its own accord, a melody that resonated with the spirits. The air around Elias shimmered, and ghostly figures emerged from the mist. They were ethereal beings, their forms shifting and flowing like water. They surrounded Elias, their eyes reflecting centuries of wisdom and sorrow. A voice, deep and resonant, filled the clearing. "Prince Elias of Ilaria, you seek our guidance. To prove your worth, you must face the trials of the ancient spirits. Only those with a pure heart and unyielding resolve can succeed." Elias nodded, his heart steady with determination. "I am ready. Tell me what I must do." The spirits formed a circle around him, their voices blending into a harmonious chorus. "3 trials await you: the trial of trust, the trial of perseverance, and the trial of heart. Each trial will test a different aspect of your character. Are you prepared to face them?" Elias drew a deep breath. "I am prepared." The first trial began with the trial of trust. Elias found himself standing before a bridge made of fragile, intertwined vines, stretching over a chasm so deep its bottom was lost in darkness. The spirits' voices echoed in his mind. "You must trust the path, for only then will it hold firm." Elias hesitated for a moment, then stepped onto the bridge. With each step, the vines creaked and swayed. But he kept his faith, trusting that the path would carry him across. Step by step he moved forward, feeling the solid support beneath his feet. With a final step, he reached the other side, the vines holding firm as promised. The second trial, the trial of perseverance, led Elias to a dense thicket of thorns. The path through was narrow and treacherous, the thorns sharp and unyielding. Elias pushed forward, his movements slow and deliberate. Each scratch and cut tested his resolve, but he persevered, driven by the knowledge that the safety of his kingdom depended on his success. The harp's music, faint but reassuring, spurred him on. Finally, bloodied but unbowed, he emerged from the thicket. The final trial, the trial of heart, was the most daunting. Elias found himself in a clearing, confronted by visions of his deepest fears. He saw his kingdom in ruins, his loved ones suffering. The visions were so vivid, they felt real. His heart ached with despair. The Spirit's voices urged him, "Do not succumb to fear. Face it with the strength of your heart." Elias closed his eyes, focusing on the harp's melody, letting its music soothe his troubled soul. He thought of his parents, his people, and his unwavering desire to protect them. Summoning all his courage, he faced the visions, banishing the fear with the light of his determination. The illusions dissipated, leaving behind a sense of calm and clarity. The spirits reappeared, their forms more solid now, their eyes filled with approval. "You have passed the trials, Prince Elias. You have proven your trust, perseverance, and heart. Take this," they said, presenting him with a second glowing crystal. "It is another piece of the ancient seal. Continue your journey with our blessing." Elias accepted the crystal, feeling its power merge with the first. The path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but he felt stronger, bolstered by the Spirit's approval and the knowledge he had gained. With Orion by his side and the harp as his guide, Elias set forth once more, ready to face whatever lay ahead in his quest to save Ilaria. With the second crystal safely tucked away, Elias continued his journey, guided by the harp's serene melodies and the unwavering support of Orion. The ancient forest gradually gave way to a rocky landscape, the trees thinning as they approached the foothills of the forgotten temple. The air grew heavier with each step, filled with an ancient power that hummed just below the surface. The path wound upward, twisting around craggy cliffs and through narrow passes. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the land, Elias caught sight of the temple's towering spires, their stone facades worn smooth by the passage of time. The temple stood on a plateau, an imposing structure that seemed to blend seamlessly with the mountain itself. The harp's music grew more insistent, guiding Elias toward the entrance. He approached with caution, aware that this final key to saving his kingdom would not be easily obtained. Orion flew ahead, scouting the area and ensuring it was safe. The owl's soft hoot echoed through the temple's massive archway, a signal that all was clear. Elias stepped inside, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. The temple was vast, its ceiling lost in shadows, and its walls adorned with intricate carvings that told tales of ancient heroes and forgotten battles. At the far end of the hall stood a grand altar, illuminated by a shaft of light that streamed down from a small opening high above. As Elias approached the altar, the harp's music filled the air, resonating with the temple's ancient magic. The runes on the altar glowed faintly, responding to the harp's melodies. Elias placed the harp on the altar and began to play, each note ringing out clear and pure. The music flowed through the temple, awakening its dormant power. The ground beneath Elias trembled, and a soft voice, ancient and wise, filled the hall. "Welcome, Prince Elias. You have journeyed far to reach this place. The final trial awaits you, a test of purity and strength of heart. Only those with the purest intentions can break the enchantment and claim the final piece of the seal." Elias nodded, his resolve firm. "I am ready. What must I do?" The voice responded, "To break the enchantment, you must face the mirror of truth. It will reveal your deepest fears and your darkest secrets. Only by confronting and accepting them can you prove the purity of your heart." A hidden door behind the altar slid open, revealing a narrow passageway that descended into darkness. Elias took a deep breath and stepped into the passage, the air growing colder with each step. The path led to a small chamber, its walls lined with ancient, cracked mirrors. At the center stood the mirror of truth, its surface smooth and reflective. Elias approached the mirror, his heart pounding. As he gazed into its depths, the surface rippled and images began to form. He saw himself not as the prince he was, but as a frightened child, lost and alone. The mirror showed his deepest insecurities, his moments of doubt and fear. It reflected his failures and the times he had felt unworthy of his title. The visions were painful, each one a blow to his spirit. But Elias knew he could not look away. He faced each image, each fear, and accepted them as part of himself. He acknowledged his imperfections and embraced the lessons they had taught him. Slowly, the images began to change, showing moments of courage, acts of kindness, and the strength he had gained through his trials. The mirror's surface shimmered, and the final image appeared. Elias standing strong and resolute, his heart pure, and his intentions clear. The mirror recognized his worthiness, and the enchantment began to break. The runes on the mirror glowed brightly, and the final piece of the ancient seal materialized before him, a crystal as brilliant as the stars. Elias took the crystal, feeling its power merge with the others. The harp's music swelled, a triumphant melody that echoed through the temple. The path forward was now clear. He had the means to restore the ancient seal and protect his kingdom. As Elias emerged from the temple, the setting sun cast a warm glow over the landscape. He felt a profound sense of accomplishment, knowing that he was now ready to face the ultimate challenge. With the 3 crystals in hand and the harp's guidance, Elias and Orion set their sights on the shadowed vale, where the final battle awaited. With the 3 crystals in his possession, Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose. Each step he took brought him closer to the shadowed vale, where the source of the kingdom's peril awaited. The journey was arduous, the terrain growing more desolate and forbidding. But with Luna's steady gait and Orion's vigilant presence, Elias pressed on, the harp's melodies providing a constant source of strength and guidance. As they neared the shadowed vale, the landscape transformed into a bleak expanse, the sky perpetually shrouded in dark clouds. The air was thick with an oppressive energy, and the ground seemed to tremble with the power of the ancient darkness that lay ahead. Elias's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. The final confrontation was imminent. The entrance to the shadowed vale was marked by 2 towering stone pillars, etched with runes that pulsed with a sinister glow. Elias dismounted Luna and approached the pillars, the crystals in his hand vibrating with a resonant hum. The harp's music grew louder, more insistent, guiding him forward. As he stepped through the pillars, a powerful force surged through the air, and the ground beneath him trembled. The dark energy of the veil enveloped him, but the crystals in his grasp shone with a brilliant light, pushing back the shadows. The path led to a vast open plain, where a figure stood waiting. A figure cloaked in darkness, emanating a palpable aura of malevolence. Elias approached cautiously, the harp's music providing a steady rhythm to his steps. The figure turned, revealing eyes that glowed with an unnatural light. "So, the Prince of Ilaria has come to face me," the figure intoned, its voice echoing with dark power. "Do you truly believe you can defeat me?" Elias stood tall, his grip on the crystals firm. "I do not stand alone. I have the strength of my ancestors, the wisdom of the harp, and the courage of my heart. I will restore the seal and protect my kingdom." The dark figure laughed, a sound that sent shivers down Elias's spine. "Very well, Prince. Let us see if you are worthy of your lineage." With a wave of the figure's hand, the ground split open, and dark tendrils of energy surged towards Elias. He raised the crystals, their light forming a protective barrier that deflected the attack. The harp's music intensified, guiding Elias as he maneuvered through the onslaught, each note resonating with the ancient magic of the crystals. The battle raged on, the dark figure summoning shadows and illusions to break Elias's resolve. But with each challenge, Elias grew stronger, his determination unyielding. He called upon the wisdom of the harp and the strength of the trials he had faced. The crystals glowed brighter, their power merging with the harp's melodies to create a force of pure light. As the dark figure prepared a final, devastating attack, Elias felt a surge of clarity. He played a powerful chord on the harp, the music resonating with the very essence of the crystals. The combined light and sound erupted in a blinding flash, enveloping the dark figure and dispelling the shadows. When the light faded, the dark figure was gone, and the shadowed veil was silent. Elias stood, breathless but victorious, the crystals in his hand now glowing with a serene light. The harp's music softened, a melody of triumph and peace. Elias felt a presence beside him and turned to see a spectral figure, radiant and serene. It was Leora, the guardian of the harp. "You have done well, Elias," she said, her voice gentle and proud. "You have proven your worth and restored the balance. The kingdom of Ilaria is safe once more." Elias bowed his head, grateful and humbled. "Thank you, Lady Leora. I could not have done it without the guidance of the harp and the strength of those who came before me." Leora smiled, her form beginning to fade. "The harp has fulfilled its purpose, and so have you. Return to your kingdom, Elias, and let the light of your courage and wisdom guide your people." With Leora's blessing, Elias made his way back to Luna and Orion. As he mounted his loyal steed and began the journey home, he felt a deep sense of peace. The darkness had been vanquished, and the kingdom of Ilaria was safe. The harp's melodies continued to play softly, a reminder of the journey he had undertaken and the strength he had discovered within himself. As Elias rode back through the whispering woods, the familiar sights and sounds of the forest filled him with a profound sense of homecoming. Luna's hooves beat a steady rhythm against the ground, and Orion soared overhead, his silhouette a dark shadow against the morning sky. The harp, now resting peacefully in its case, hummed softly, a gentle reminder of the trials they had overcome. The journey through the kingdom was met with increasing signs of renewal. The fields were lush and green, the rivers clear and sparkling. Villagers who had once lived in fear now moved with renewed vigor, their faces bright with hope. Word of Elias's victory had spread quickly, and the people of Ilaria lined the roads to welcome their prince back. As he approached the castle, Elias was greeted by a throng of jubilant citizens. Banners fluttered in the breeze, and cheers of "Long live Prince Elias" echoed through the air. The castle gates swung open, and King Alden and Queen Ilara stood at the entrance, their expressions a mix of pride and relief. Elias dismounted Luna and embraced his parents, feeling the weight of their love and support. "Father, Mother," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "The darkness has been vanquished. The kingdom is safe." King Alden clasped Elias's shoulder, his eyes shining with pride. "You have done us all proud, my son. Your bravery and determination have saved Ilaria." Queen Ilara hugged Elias tightly. "Welcome home, my dear. We knew you would succeed." Elias smiled, his heart full. "I could not have done it without the harp and the guidance of those who came before me." In the days that followed, the kingdom celebrated its newfound peace. Festivals were held in every village, and the people rejoiced in their restored prosperity. The castle was adorned with flowers and banners, and a grand feast was prepared in honor of Elias's return. During the celebration, Elias stood before the gathered crowd, the harp in his hands. Its strings glistened in the sunlight, a symbol of the journey they had undertaken and the trials they had overcome. "People of Ilaria," Elias began, his voice carrying across the courtyard, "we have faced great challenges and emerged victorious. The darkness that threatened our land has been banished, and we can now look forward to a future filled with hope and light." The crowd cheered, their voices a chorus of joy and gratitude. Elias played a melody on the harp, the music weaving through the air and filling the hearts of all who listened. It was a song of renewal, a testament to the strength and resilience of the kingdom. In the days and weeks that followed, Elias continued to work tirelessly to restore and strengthen his kingdom. He met with village leaders, listened to the concerns of his people, and ensured that the resources needed for rebuilding were distributed fairly. The lessons he had learned on his journey guided his decisions, and the wisdom of the harp remained a constant source of inspiration. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a brilliant shade of orange, Elias stood on the castle balcony, gazing out over his kingdom. Orion perched beside him, his amber eyes reflecting the fading light. The harp rested against the railing, its music a soft whisper in the evening air. Elias felt a deep sense of peace. The trials he had faced had not only saved his kingdom, but had also transformed him into a wise and compassionate leader. He knew that the future would hold new challenges, but he felt ready to face them with the same courage and determination that had carried him through his quest. As night fell, Elias played a final, soothing melody on the harp, the notes drifting into the cool night air. The stars began to twinkle above, a reminder of the ancient wisdom that had guided him.